Hello and welcome to this month's forum. This is really amazing. Last year we have a similar thing. We talked about what happened to the June workshop, and I so happy to see many of you have been, and it would be fun to talk about it. And for the people who haven't been in this June workshop, uh, that's okay. Life get into way, and sometimes it's too far to come. Whatever reason, I want to give you a feel of it so you can share some of that happiness and the energy and the things we learn together. So um, before I'm going to start with a video. So how does this happen? Dino told me it's good to do a summary of the June workshop. So I said, oh, sure, I'll do it. I love doing editing, even though. Um, and he says, so I was just thinking of something like 3 hours, but he says, well, how about 5 minutes? 5 minutes for the whole workshop? So I did it 5 minutes and a half. So this is what you're going to see, 5 minutes and a half of the June workshop, just to get the feel, and then we can talk more about it.
This is my favorite song, but I like Leonard better.
So, what are the 3 A's to become a good TCHI instructor?
So that it would be teachable. Oh man.
yeah, the big takeaway is that we are 80 to 85% of the Tai Chi task force.
Flirt. Just keep changing.
I love that. I don't just do Tai Chi, I am.
Welcome back. I forgot to introduce my team to start with. So I'm going to start with Evan, who's the CEO of Tai Chi for Health Institute, and she's running the logistic technical part of this forum. Evan, do you want to say something?
Sure, I'll just say hi to everyone. Welcome from the USA and Australia and everywhere else that you're coming from. It was so great to meet you. So so many of you I met in person in Oregon, and what a wonderful week we had. I look forward to many future in-person workshops and meeting so many more of you. Thank you, Dr. Lam.
Thanks, Evan. And Ernie doesn't need any introductions. He take care of everybody and certainly is coordinating everything. So Ernie, would you like to say something?
Sure, Dr. Lam. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I was so excited to see that clip that Dr. Lam just showed. The wonderful memories we had from June in Oregon. Oh, my goodness. So anyone who was there who would like to comment, reflect on some of those memories, this would be the time, this would be the forum to do it. All of that excitement, all of that wonderful experience carries us on to the fall workshops, through everything that we do for the next year. Looking forward to next June, possibly. Just rejuvenated, just feel like ready to take on everything and bring it to our own communities. Now, thank you for coming to the forums. We hope to see you every month through the rest of this year and next year too. So welcome.
Thanks, Ernie. And yes, I can echo all that. So today's thing is relatively open in the sense that we love to hear more of you. Usually we love everyone to talk anyway, but these two especially so. So the thing about workshop, about in-person workshop, is that you always get some incredible surprises and that incredible personal energy. So the workshop, in-person working and online lessons and online teaching and like our online forum is, for me, it's almost like yin and yang. They both are so important. For example, some of you I have met through the forum, and you came to the June workshop, and that was first time we met in person. And that's just like different, but we actually need both. For example, nowadays, uh, time is essence. So, and traveling is expensive and or other things, COVID and things. So, if you can learn from online lessons, prepare, in fact, our training for instructors is based on preparation with online lessons or DVDs. So that allow you to learn most effectively without the traveling time and all that. On the other hand, when you look at my online lessons, just imagine it's something take a year to do for me to think out with my team what is the best way to put forward, what's the easiest way to learn, and the bits and pieces that's not necessary, that doesn't make any difference, will be gone because we got the whole year to work it out. So that DVD has the best teaching method in the easiest to follow way. So, and you can learn a lot by that, as many of you done. However, when you come to see your teacher, your master trainer, when you come to me in the workshop, there is a huge difference. If you just come to see me first time and never done any Tai Chi before, what you can take home be so much less than when you prepare with online lessons and you really take home something that the online lesson might not be able to give, the inner energy and all that. So, it's like yin and yang. They both are now working together and very important. But surprises. I'm so surprised with people I met, and the people I renew, and how people had progressed, turned, how much they help people. And I must say, one I really more than surprised is the singing, the music. First of all, we have Evan, who's a musician by profession, who's now working as the CEO of the institute. So because of him, I think Ben came because of him. And as some of you know, the Tai Chi CD2 is produced by Evan, and Ben is the composer of the music, and he happens to live in Oregon, so he came, and then Carissa and Mark and Evan all joined together. You can see them singing together. That was so beautiful. Now, if you see that video, you see running through, I chose a 36 form demonstration because it's very special. Not just that I love the 36 form, well, all the Tai Chi I do, I love. Um, but it's different. It's filmed with the audience as well. So audience are big feature. And if you listen carefully, the beautiful, powerful singing from Teresa was joined by everybody when they go. Hallelujah, everybody joining. So it's like a full team spirit. Um, and then what was interesting is I heard that and I thought, wow, her singing makes enhance the demonstration so much. So I asked her, would she sing for me? So when I did my demonstration at the end, you can see her sing for me. I was talking to one of the participants, and I say, "Oh, tomorrow I'm going to demonstrate, and Carissa's going to sing for me." And this guy didn't know at the 36th demonstration, Carissa was singing. He thought it was from a famous singer from the CDs. We're playing a famous singers. So he didn't realize we actually have a live talent with that live energy sharing with us. So of course, Ma, we heard him singing before, and I heard Evan sing before, but not much. And Bang, I never met, even though he produced CD. So that's a musical surprise. It- you know, just a lot of this we cannot produce without being there. So the yin and yang, I think, we're having a good balance of using online videos together with. And I'll talk a little bit more about what we learned, but I like to just hear other people too. And Lorraine, would you like to say something? Go ahead.
Sure. Um, I think in terms of the week long, the way I always describe it to people about myself is we teach a class, we go to a class, a half day, a whole day, 2 days, on a week of being able to just do Tai Chi, talk about Tai Chi incessantly. It's so wonderful. So if you haven't had the opportunity to go and swim in that wonderful pool day after day, evening, date, lunchtime, breakfast time, after dinner, all kind of all day long, it is a little crazy, but that's okay. That's what makes it so wonderful, because you don't have to torture friends and family who really don't care. And you want to talk about something going on in the Tai Chi world. And now you can. And just talk about it and talk about it. You can talk about theory, you can talk about forms, you can talk about whatever. And people are there, they're happy. Lunchtime, this time, all of it. So, and for me personally, as one of the instructor team, any small bit that I can help people advance their knowledge and skills, to me, makes it entirely worthwhile. So I thank all the people that came to my workshop and put up with me for the week. And I hope they got something out of it, some little thing anyway. So that's my feelings.
Thank you, Lorraine. And I think it's a lot more than that. People learn a lot from you. I certainly learn a lot from you. You're a great teacher and great Tai Chi. And that goes to all the instructors. Um, yeah, the yeah, well, it's really nice to talk to everybody and nobody think you're crazy about Tai Chi. Like you say, but there's something else, I find just being there, maybe it's just the right environment for everything to grow. I find my Tai Chi develop and grow in the workshop. And I used to make my uh, well, I train instructors in my school, and many of them you met, and they're really great. And I used to make them, of course, we give feedback to each other, feedback to me too. And after a few years, I realized it's good for me to get feedback from them about what I can improve. But a lot of them feel very uncomfortable giving me feedbacks. So I stopped making them do it. I don't like making people do anything anyway, and waiting for them to just forward. And very few of them do forward any feedback to me. But even without that, just being around and looking and through the teaching, I do find I pick up a lot about what I can do to improve myself. So yeah, just I mean it's as you know, I travel every year to USA. It takes a lot to travel, and especially this year, I have to really work hard to get there, and it's worth every bit of the effort. And just to be with you guys, just to share that our love together, our care about Tai Chi, and it was great feeling. Uh, yeah. Does anyone
Dr.
like
Lim,
else like?
excuse, that's lovely. Pat Lawson couldn't be here in person, but she has shared with us her thoughts on her video. Pat put together her thoughts on the theme coming together for the future, which was our workshop theme. So I'll share that video with you.
Thank you for having me here today to introduce the topic of lessons, what I learned at the annual June USA workshop. The theme this year was coming together for the future. The first half of that phrase is coming together. The lesson for me was take the first step. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step, but I have to take it. I have to take that step. And people came from all over the USA and from other parts of the world. Other countries came to be together and to share this time in community with other Tai Chi practitioners. There were many, many challenges to travel. Air travel today is not as easy as it used to be. Participants helped each other through the challenges, large and small. Lost luggage, access to the room, COVID. Together, we can overcome small challenges and big ones. The last half of the phrase is for the future. Alan Kay said the best way to predict the future is to invent it. Our Tai Chi community was there to lead the way into the future. Dr. Lam opened the conference, continuing to inspire us with his enthusiasm, vision, commitment, energy, as well as his personal testimony about how Tai Chi has helped him through difficult challenges. Our morning speakers continued to carry that light forward. Dr. Raymond Lau, chairman of the Tai Chi for Health Institute, spoke about the triple A's for instructors to remember ability, affability, and availability, assuring us that the Tai Chi for Health Institute continues to be there, continues to evolve, to support us in Tai Chi for Health as that evolves in the future. The future does not stand still, and neither does Tai Chi for Health Institute. Dr. Byung-Sung Oh, professor at the University of Sydney Medical School, principal research fellow at Northern Sydney Cancer Centre at the Royal North Shore Hospital, and president of the International Medical Tai Chi and Qigong Association, spoke one morning, giving us another example of coming together for the future. He was reaching out to show us in his actions how organizations can work together and collaborate in order to achieve mutual goals. We are collectives when we work within our organizations, stronger than an individual alone, and two organizations together, even stronger than that. He challenged us with the question, we know that there's been over 2,000 studies in the last decade showing the positive effects of Tai Chi for various health conditions, so accepted in the medical world that in fact the clinical practice guidelines for physicians have been amended to include some advisories for physicians to be able to refer their patients with certain conditions for Tai Chi exercise. And Dr. O's question was, but are the doctors referring patients to you in your classes? If not, why not? He suggests we can bridge the gap by understanding the doctor's concerns, by increasing safety awareness, and by standardizing qualifications for instructors. IMTQA shares those focus points with the Tai Chi for Health Institute. Collaborating will get us maybe further along in a better way than working alone. Our own master trainer, Elena Ferrier, updated us on growth in support of the programs, especially for fall prevention through National Council on Aging and exercise for older adults through the National Recreation and Parks Association. Our fidelity and our reputation are carrying us as foremost when it comes to looking toward credible exercise to be eligible for federal funding. Master trainer Becky Ray opened her heart to let us see how the deeply personal loss of her husband Butch brought her whole community together, reaching out beyond her Tai Chi community to the even wider community of firefighters. The ripple effect is bringing Tai Chi to people who perhaps would never have thought of trying it before. Master trainer Jim Starshak and senior trainer Lori Geiger presented new opportunities for collaboration with the Veterans Administration. Our veterans in the USA badly need the benefits that Tai Chi exercise can bring. Master trainer Nina Zeldin shared her experience in reaching out with nonprofit agencies and other funding bodies to work toward accomplishing our mission. Jerry Pearson, esteemed director, choreographer, and dancer, spoke on new ways to experience the flow in Tai Chi sets. He's changing shapes in the Tai Chi world with his course, Dancing Tai Chi. Tai Chi continues to evolve, and Jerry shows us another way to go with the flow, pushing us a little bit to open our minds to the future. Each wonderful speaker during the conference shared from their heart so that we could see many different ways to come together for the future. In addition, there were countless individual conversations over a meal, during a walk, in a quiet moment, many conversations in which participants came together to share, to learn, joining together. All of us aiming toward the future of our vision, a future in which the quality of life is improved in many different ways for many people through Tai Chi exercise. We hope eventually for all people. I had a friend.
Deborah, would you like to say something?
Yes. Good afternoon or good evening or good morning, everyone. I attended the 1 week and the pre-conference, and it was such a wonderful gift to go. And I enjoyed what I enjoyed a lot amongst what everyone else has said is being able to see everyone in person. I love Zoom, and I'll be very honest, I got starstruck seeing some people like Evan for the first time. I was a little starstruck. As well as, well, of course, Dr. Lamb. But it was great to see some of our Australian friends as well, who I'd never seen in person, but also many of you who I hadn't seen in person over the years. And it was great to be welcomed and to be imperfect. And my biggest learning curve was actually learning from the other participants in the sessions that I attended. I learned so much creative ideas and wonderful things that they were doing, listening more about what they were doing. And it was just a wonderful experience. If you've never been, would encourage you to go. If you've had a chance to go, encourage you to go again and again, because each one is very specifically very different, but always wonderful. So thank you, Dr. Lamb, Ernie, Evan, and there's many people behind the scenes, the Picketts, the Rays, and many others who make this wonderful 1 week accessible and available and affordable for all of us. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Deborah. And that was great having you too. Haven't seen you for a while. It's great. Wonderful to see a beautiful Tai Chi. And Jocelyn, uh, there's a thing called somewhere that you press to show your reaction. I think under reaction, if you press your hands up, is that where you put raise hands? If you click reaction and click raise hands, then you'll be on the corner, and then I'll ask whoever raise your hands to speak in that order. So if you want to talk, go to reaction and press hand. Yeah, then, okay. Jocelyn, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm
Who lost
okay.
her?
So,
Oh,
well, I think the very first week long I went to was actually the weekend workshop when it was at Olive Grove near Memphis. And then I went to the whole week every year after that. I think it was at, it was in Indiana. Can't think of the name right now. But I have to say, and I agree with Deborah, that all of them are wonderful and all of them are different. And I just have to say what made this one so different for me is that I saw a quality in all of you that I have only otherwise seen in a spiritual group of people. And that is, I had a little struggle, physical struggle, and I just couldn't believe how everyone reached out. Everyone was so helpful. I had people staying with me on 2 different days, just around the clock to make sure I was okay. And I've never had that experience before, hopefully never will again, but it just showed me how the fellowship among all of us is so strong that when one person is having difficulty, even if you don't know them, you reach out. And I so appreciated that. And I would share that with the world because it shows there's more to Tai Chi for Health than just the Tai Chi. It's the community. It's very important. And I was teaching a class, and Nina, I want to give her props because she just stepped in without being prepared or anything and taught 2 days without me. And then we taught together on certain days. And also our class. And I see Mary Sweeney is here. And that class, everyone loves their class, right? But I just have to say, everything that went on with me and everything else, this class pulled together, and some of them thought they would never be able to learn the set, and yet they did. And that was just the power of their will and developing confidence. And I'm just grateful for it all. I can't thank everyone enough.
thank you, Jocelyn. I really resonate with the thing about people. It's not just the Tai Chi. It's well, first of all, we do meet the nicest people. I remember Eric walking one day in one workshop and he says, Dr. Lam, this is a family reunion where I chose my family. So the people, well, Tai Chi is about nature and we are part of nature. And I just think people getting together, that sharing energy is so helpful, so wonderful. Bob, next, you go.
But anyway, I think there was a tremendous bond between us. I felt like it was a extended family. There's a real closeness, like in the cafeteria, just sitting down in the cafeteria with strangers. It was so easy to start up a conversation, and just felt so connected with everyone. I was really fortunate. I signed up registered for the dancing Tai Chi with class with Jerry Pearson, and that was a marvelous experience. A truly delightful class. But there were 10 students, and came from all over. From Alaska, we had one lady that came from London for our class, and we all had various backgrounds. And one of the main reasons why I signed up for it is because I can't dance at all. And I figured I got no place to go but up. And I really benefited tremendously from this class. It was exhilarating and challenging. Jerry Pearson has a marvelous ability to help us embrace the rhythm. My sense of rhythm was enhanced significantly by this class, and it helped me to internalize the rhythm and made my movements feel more synchronized and harmonious. It's hard to explain it, but I feel like I'm moving with much more fluidity now. We did push hands in his class, and I've done it many times before, but in the past it had always been slightly adversarial or even very adversarial. But in Jerry's class, we did push hands to connect with our partners, which helped develop a deeper feel for the ebb and flow of every movement and the subtle weight shifts involved. I really feel that I was extremely fortunate to have had this experience, and there was a real bonding that developed between the 10 of us in the class and Jerry, because we felt like we were pioneering something, and we keep in touch. After the workshop, we've been trading emails back and forth on a very frequent basis. I think I've got lifelong friends that developed from having gone through that class with them. Thank you.
Well, that's amazing. It just struck me. You say you can't dance, and that's what I always believe too. And can you imagine people like us who's not really good at dancing, who have a world-class dancer, choreographer, and you would think someone in that sort of level would forget how to work with beginners like us. Well, I like to think that in our instructors too, that our instructors are incredibly high level of Tai Chi, and yet you all have worked our way to work with people with different levels. In fact, that is an indication of how good he is or you are. And the other thing you mentioned that really resonated with me, and that is the reason why I have worked with Jerry to actually accept a class, because anyone who's teaching my workshop has been totally scrutinized and very carefully viewed before I that you are my people to them. And the thing that Jerry told me that really resonated with me is what you say about when it did push hands, people are aggressive. They just want to win. Some of them do. However, Jerry's version is getting to know your partner and enhance and complement your partner. For me, that's real Tai Chi. Tai Chi is not winning. Tai Chi is about harmonizing, understanding. So that's all me, and I'm so happy that everybody there has enjoyed the class, and I think Jerry enjoys sharing his amazing art and understanding. So Mary, you're next.
Thank you. Bob, you moved beautifully. I loved your performance in the dance. And I'm a former dancer, and Jerry and I actually think that he was teaching me master classes at the University of Iowa in the 70s. We think we met and didn't know it, so that was pretty exciting.
Wow.
But yeah, I know. Here we are meeting again. One of the things that you've all kind of touched on, but for me, when I came back to California, and people asked me how the workshop went, I said, well, one thing, I have never been in a group of people with so much kindness. It's just everyone being kind to each other. And you don't find that very often. And so that for me, like you say, I mean, the Tai Chi was wonderful, and I loved all the classes and all the work, but to be in a community of people who just were always nice to each other, always, that was fabulous for me. And then what happened with that, when I came home,
I always thought I was hearing people or seeing people. I felt like I might be going a little ill because I'd say, oh, I think that's Jocelyn. Because I spend so much time with people. When I got home, I kept seeing people and hearing people. And it went on for about 3 weeks where I'd keep thinking, well, there's Ernie. No, that's not Ernie. But anyway, so that was kind of neat, really. Yeah, it was fun. And the other thing I did was so appreciative of was all the levels of performance, the levels of people. So we had absolute beginners and absolute masters, and that we all could work together so beautifully. And I was in Jocelyn and Nina's class, and we had quite a range of levels, and it was just wonderful. We all loved each other, and so it's a human experience more than anything. So thank you, everyone who was there. I greatly appreciate everything everyone did. And meeting Evan was wonderful too. Thank you.
Thank you,
Mary.
Mary. Was this your first conference, or have you been to the June before?
It was my first conference. I had been to the Kansas City one with you in October.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Marilyn, was this your first one? Marilyn Hall.
Oh, I've got it off. Yes, it was my first workshop. And I have to say, when I saw Dr. Lamb, I just was in awe. For like 3 or 4 years, I've been looking at DVDs and have had trainers here, of course, that I've worked with, but I just think he is wonderful, and the skills that he has and that he shares through videos or DVDs are just incredible. So that was quite an experience for me, just to see him and watch him in person. But I think my mind was just expanded with how many different ways Tai Chi could be expressed. And for me, the music, Hallelujah, was just, I could not believe that Tai Chi could be done to Hallelujah, but I saw it and it was beautiful. And I had student 73 with Bill and Linda, and they answered every single question I had in a very good way. It was a wonderful experience. I was actually a commuter. My son lives in Portland, son and his family. So even for those who might be considering going as a commuter, it is just wonderful still. So thank you to all of you that made it happen in the way you did.
Well, thank you, Marilyn. And
thank you for your
thanks
thoughts.
thanks for your nice words about me. I can't tell you how proud I am that when I started with Tai Chi for arthritis, without actually realizing, people who care about people with arthritis or got arthritis tend to be caring for older adults. And I think that's how we started. When we started with people who care about others, especially the older guys and girls, then we get a group of good people, and like we just grow with that, and everyone is so kind. And I'm so proud to be the part of this, to have nicest people around this beautiful family. And Quentin, you're next.
Yes, Dr. Lamb, I started following you with your DVDs back in the days when you were making those, and bought the shoes, as we discussed one a couple of times. And so when the opportunity came a year or two ago now in New York to go to the workshop, I said, I'm going to do it. So I got on the train and went to New York and had a great experience. And then this year, when I found out I was going to be in Portland, Oregon, I said, wow, I live in the Washington, D.C. area. So I had to come all the way across the country. And I said, that's a long way, but I'm going to go see Dr. Lamb. I'm going to go to the Tai Chi workshop. And I did it. And I got on the plane. I made that trip. The biggest thing for me, what happened was, sometimes New York was great, but what happened in Portland for me in my practice is something clicked. And then I started saying, I get this. And now my practice since I was there has been a lot more consistent, and I've been doing practice. And then it's been easier for some reason. I don't know why, but it's just was a development. And I could say that that's one of the things I got out of the workshop in Portland.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Quentin. Yeah, there's just so many things to make it click, the people, the community, the instructors, your fellow participants, and everything, just the atmosphere.
Well, first of all, with Anna Hudson actually summarized everything, what other people are saying. She said, I loved sharing the joy of doing Tai Chi with friends in person. And as we practice Tai Chi together, strangers become new best friends. I thought that pretty much summarized what everyone was saying. Nina says, I love being with the Tai Chi family and learning from each other. And of course, Dr. Lamb, a lot of comments about dancing Tai Chi, wanting to know if it's going to be in Sydney when you have the annual workshop in January. I believe so. We'll have to stay tuned for that. Jocelyn said it was so wonderful to see everyone online today. Yeah, okay, that was from Shelley Oda, who is glad to see Jocelyn. Okay, more comments about doing Tai Chi to Hallelujah. That was absolutely beautiful. And having Carissa and Mark and Ben doing their wonderful group singing in the evenings and at other times. It was wonderful to have that in person. Just a lot of joy was going on. Okay, so anything else?
I think, Ernie, I think we probably running a little bit short of time. How about I'll just talk for a little while.
Okay.
Instead of having a breakout group, I like to just bring up something that we can take home and think about whether you've been in the workshop or not. What like the dancing Tai Chi is a great example of looking outside the box. Like Tai Chi is not just the two words. It's a understanding, a concept based on some very similarly simple principles. These principles are essentially derived from nature. So when you bear down to that, whatever set, whatever form of Tai Chi you do, it comes down to the key principle. And then when you come to a workshop, when you do your online lessons, but when you come to a workshop, you work with people that give you a clearly a more realistic understanding of what that nature is. Also, the feedback you get from your fellow participants, your instructors, allow you to again see a clearer picture of that principle, allow you to work more to the principle. And that's why I like the different facets of Tai Chi. So it doesn't matter which class you go to. Some of you have come to almost every workshop, and this is the 22nd in USA, and in Sydney it's the 26th that's done. And some of you come to both of them. And and I think somebody told me he did the depth 73 like 5 times, and what else would he do? And that that kind of shows what I believe. Like I've been practicing Tai Chi for 48, 49 years now. And even though I practice many forms, but it's still the same sets of 10 forms, say 12 Tai Chi for health programs. And it just like for me, driven to different angles to look at that principle. And those principles only make sense if you practice. So you need to practice not only with your body, but with your mind. And then when you come to a workshop, that is where you have not concentrated, a more focused time, space, environment to really hone in the principles, to try it, to compare it, and to develop that. And I think, Tai Chi is based on law of nature. And in nature, human evolved from groups. We did well because we can communicate and work in groups. Every big thing come down from good communication, good collaboration. So Tai Chi will be the same by working with your friends, your colleagues in the right environment. That's how you grow Tai Chi best. So I think there's just a lot more than I can say, but or you add to that how useful, how important it is, and not necessarily come to a workshop. Of course, is the best, but group with your friends, your Tai Chi friends nearby, work with the participants, and have human contact. That and of course use the online lesson like what we do now, use online facilities. And I think different way to improve our Tai Chi is the yin and yang. When you combine both, you get best results. Um, so that's what I take from the workshop, what I learned from the workshop, and just enjoy so much have your company. So if we still got maybe 3 more minutes, anybody else like to uh, say anything? Just raise your hands, quick reaction, and raise your hand. Say, I'd love to hear from you. Maybe Evan, you like to say something. It's interesting for you being American who come to spend years in Australia and then go back to our American workshop. That must be an interesting kind of observation for you.
Absolutely, Dr. Lam. It was just an incredible time to see everyone. I could echo all of the things. I think so many people spoke today and said so many lovely things about the feeling of family that exists among this community. It really you have to be there to feel it. And yeah, it's just such a lovely, I mean, speaking as an American, just go, regionally even, Americans come from all different parts of the country and coming across the country to come to one spot. And there were definitely those regional, accents and differences in the different master trainers and things. And it was just lovely to be all together and all in one place. I knew all along that something very special about Dr. Lam and this community is the people that he's been able to attract over the years. These are really high quality instructors, just lovely people, kind people who are just, as everyone has expressed already, and it was just a joy to be around everyone. So thanks. We do have lots of really exciting plans coming up for the future. I think Ernie might talk a little bit about the fall workshops. Go ahead, Ernie.
Yes, I just put it into the chat. Dr. Lam will be returning this fall, so you'll have an opportunity to register. Registrations are open now. The Miami area, the last of September, the last weekend of September, 2 days, the depth of Yang 24 on Saturday, and the depth of Tai Chi for Energy and Spiraling Force on Sunday. So that's the last weekend of September. Then the first weekend in October, Dr. Lamb will be in Kansas City. And that will be 3 days. Friday will be the depth of Yang 24 forms, Saturday, depth of Tai Chi for arthritis fall prevention, and Sunday, depth of Tai Chi for energy and spiraling force. So you could come for 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days. And if you come for 2 days, there is a special discount. If you come for all 3 days, there's even a deeper discount. So we'd be glad to answer any questions that you have. You can always get in touch with me and with Pat at service@drlamtaichiworkshops.com, and we will help you register, answer your questions. We would love to see you.
Thanks, Ernie. And I'll just follow with telling everyone, as an American now living in Australia, that the workshop coming up in 2025 in January, I know many of our master trainers have certainly come to Sydney to train with Dr. Lamb, but there is something very special about Australia, and you will never regret, making that decision to say, oh my gosh, am I going to go all the way down? And how long is that flight? Oh, I can't believe it. I mean, Americans, we tend to, think across the country is long enough to fly, but I just did it a couple of times with my 9-year-old son. And I tell you what, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. You'll spend a week at, learning Tai Chi, and maybe spend another week going and visiting, I don't know, part of the world you've never seen before. It's definitely worth it. So that's just a little plug for the Sydney workshop. That's in 2025. I put the dates down there. We'll have the registration up very soon, so that you can start your planning. I see Deborah has her hand up. So Deborah, why don't you share?
It is kind of a little plug as well, to what Evan says. So when I first started coming to the week-long workshop, I actually came to Sydney first to look for Dr. Lamb, and he left. He had already left for the world tour like the day before. I just missed him. But what impressed me to continue coming since 2011 is because he wasn't there. And the way, the structure, the leaders, no, it was a reflection of all of the work that Dr. Lamb had put into providing this wonderful structure that we have. Everyone was so welcoming. And it was through his assistants and the instructors there. That's where I met a lot of instructors. And that's where I became really just star crazy. Everyone looked like the video. But it sold me on going to the 1 week, and it was Indiana that year in 2011 in Terre Haute. And I had been going ever since, except for I missed 2 just in the recent years. But I wanted to say that, but I also wanted to say there's so much more to each conference, even outside of the conference, which is already very full. Just a quick share, in Oregon, we had a flash mob at the marketplace.
Yeah.
And it was Dr. Lamb, and there were a few others. We just happened to be out. Pam Mensa was there, and there were a few others. We just happened to be out doing our own thing and enjoying the marketplace in Portland, which was absolutely wonderful. And we started doing the 73. It was Becky, Mark, there were quite a few others. And there were people on the side saying, oh, there's Tai Chi classes available. And we just deferred to Dr. Lamb. And he was like, oh, go to the website. And we told him, oh, he's only been doing it with us for a while. But it was this wonderful, we were like, show him your shirt, show him your shirt. But it was really a lot of fun. There were those impromptu things that happened during the workshop as well. So I would encourage you to, go to Sydney, go to the next 1 week. And you never know, it becomes a part of your annual Hajj, where you look forward to seeing and learning and being a part of something that's really, really special. And I personally enjoyed the sword workshop this time with Marianne. She's absolutely masterful. And I just enjoyed all of the wonderful things that Dr. Lamb does, and coming to each of the classes and sharing so much a part of himself already with all of us. So you get that and so much more. But just come. I encourage you to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Deborah. Well, I guess since I've been sharing, I'll tell you this secret that I'm actually a very introverted, shy person, and flash mob is not my thing. Um, or get up there to speak is not my thing either. Uh, and of course, I love Tai Chi so much, so that's not so hard. But who started it? It was um, I didn't start the flash mob in the market.
Was it Ralph?
I think it was
Ralph, yeah.
Ralph and Becky.
Ralph started, and
Yeah,
then
and we just kind
someone
of
else
started.
follow him, and I say to myself,
Yeah.
"Oh, I have to join in. I can't just be watching it." So I think people join us more since. So yes, I'm a reluctant leader, but I love being a leader, like a big brother. I love that. Actually, good things we do.
Well, thank you, Dr. Lamb, for sharing so much of yourself and so much of your thoughts. We just, this whole forum just was a joyful time of us coming together and sharing that. So thanks everyone for your participation. And we hope that you come to the next forum, and monthly, it will be the first weekend, starting August, be the next one. And we'll announce very soon what the topic will be. Registrations will be open. You'll get a recording of video recording of this particular forum within the next several days.
Yeah, and I will record some of the Zone 2 people, and you will also get to meet some people from Europe, from the Zone 2. So by the way, if you want to certain topics, feel free to email us. Let us know what topic you would like to discuss for next time. And I'm in the process of having a web page with all the topics and a brief introduction of each topic. We cover a lot of things: spiral force, the different energies, and the qua. That would be really nice to if I put the recording, the link to the website, then anyone can go and have a look at that. But okay, I will stay for another 5 minutes. But meanwhile, let's take a picture first, shall we?
Thanks, Dr. Lam. Good idea. Great. If you'd like to turn on your camera and come for a photo, come on along, and we'll just follow Dr. Lam as he gives us his direction for the photo.
Okay, how about a greeting? So the right hand means inner strength. Four fingers together means friendship. Here means modesty, and together means friendship and strength for Tai Chi. Welcome everybody to this month's forum. And it was really good to have a forum after the June workshop, because the June and the January workshop are the two highlights of the year in the Tai Chi world, certainly in my world. And each of them keep me lifted nearly up in the air for the next half a year. And the pandemic really helped me, and I can see other people too, to really appreciate feeling the benefit of that in-person personal energy, and being there was amazing. And of course, because of the pandemic, we learn a lot and use a lot of Zoom as we are now, and online lessons, and it's almost like a new world, certainly new technique for me since I use Zoom. And I think it's just fantastic that the two can work together. It's like yin and yang. I think, especially with the shortage of time, a lot of people would learn from my online lessons. And bearing in mind that for me to do a lesson, let's say for Tai Chi for arthritis, it would take like a whole year for me to work out exactly what to say, where to say it, which is too much, which is too little, and which is the method that make it easier for people to learn, and which angle work better for people to see. So when you look at the online lesson, in a way, it can be easier to learn in some way as in person, uh, but there's something different and uh, like when you're in person, it's three-dimensional and you can get feelings of each other. And so I think like our training, at some stage in in certain level, in certain ways to develop Tai Chi, you need it will really benefit from in-person um, interaction. And in fact, that's why we all travel to June workshop usually is the biggest. And this year we have about 100 and early 130, 40
Well,
people.
close to 150, close to
Okay.
150. Mhm.
I think that was better than better than half our workshop before. We used to have over 200. Um, but I would still think that was excellent for after pandemic, and people still worry about infections, and there's a lot of financial difficulty around the world as well. So um, it, but more importantly, the people who turn up there are just amazing people, and that's what I especially want to introduce to you um, through videos. Um, the feelings, the atmosphere of the workshop there. And my IT person told me to ask me to do a video of the June workshop. And I was thinking of 3 hours, but he says 5 minutes. So I did 5 minutes and a half. So I'm going to start with that. Okay, so I guess you must have noticed that beautiful singing throughout the 36 form performance. So I thought it was very unusual filming too. It has the audience. It's almost like the audience are the feature rather than the players of the 36 form. And once she was singing that hallelujah, the audience join in as well. So I think that's really beautiful mix. And of course, 36 phone is beautiful. And you probably noticed Deborah was there doing a short phones. She's here with us now. Um, and then you will see there's a guy doing the guitar with long hair, big man. His name is Bang, and he's the composer of the music CD 2. He happens to live in Portland, so he came to visit us. He's a good friend of Evan, and you can see Evan and he was singing. And Carissa is the daughter of Ma, and even if you don't know Ma, you must see some videos of our workshop where there was Elvis who's singing Elvis songs. That's Ma. So his other name is Elvis. And I think his daughter's it's just amazing singer, so sweet and just so beautiful. So that's totally unexpected. I have no idea that we're going to have such a singer there. So once she was, when the 36 form was demonstrating, she sang for them, probably because Mark was there, one of the performers. So I got really excited. I went to Carissa and say, hey, I'm going to do a demonstration tomorrow. Can you sing for me? And at the end, he saw her singing to me. So I must say that when we create the music CD, well, I don't know anything about music, so you guys can make fun of me. That's fine, and Evan can tell me right or wrong later on. But as you know, Evan's a musician, and he's helping us now, working for the IT Institute. Anyway, I thought, okay, music for me, they either is so amazing that they capture you, take you with it, or so relaxing that make you go to sleep, right? That seems to me two types of music. Tai Chi music is different. It need to have a Tai Chi energy. It doesn't capture you totally, and it doesn't put you to sleep. So better still, if you have the rhythm and the feel and the energy of Tai Chi, then the Tai Chi music should be something like that, which is what I hope that we produce Music CD 1. And I think Music CD 2 is obviously a lot better because Evan produced it. And my daughter Andrea is there. And Ben is a composer I've never met before. But I think this workshop, I think I was wrong when Teresa was singing the somewhere over the rainbow, just looking at the beautiful, something to look forward to. And of course, that's what Tai Chi do, take us to a rainbow. And you need a friend. We need friends to go along. Um, so those two songs are just so amazing, and it didn't distract me. I felt more energized doing my Tai Chi. So I think I was wrong before, and maybe we should have more singing for the Tai Chi at the right occasion. Anyway, that's there's always surprise in the workshop. That's one of the surprises I have, and it's really good to have Evan there. What do you guys
Thanks,
think?
Paul. It was a surprise to me too. I have to say, hi everyone. I'm Evan. I'm Dr. Lamb's son-in-law, but I'm also working as the CEO of Tai Chi for Health Institute now. I feel very lucky to be involved, and it was an amazing workshop. And I think everyone brings their own perspective there, and gets to bring their own gifts. And it was very much a surprise that my friend Ben just happened to live, less than an hour away from where the workshop was, and he came. And I said, Ben, just bring your guitar just in case. And Carissa and Mark were there, and we just put together a show on the Monday night of the first Monday night of the workshop, and then that led to all these other things. So it was like Dr. Lamb said, always a surprise what happens when you get together in person. So it was very nice.
Oh, so you can see they're singing. Evan, of course, and Ben and Carissa and Mark singing. I think it's in the newsletter, it just came out. So if you haven't read it, do please. And you can go to the website, it's there. And I think the singing of those four people were just amazing. So beautiful. And then of course, you hear a bit of me when I did my evolution in Tai Chi in different styles. That was really nice. So I think if anyone want to comment on it, or we should show you Pat's video on her talk about the workshop. Was there anybody like to ask question, make a comment before we move to Pat's video? Okay, welcome back. Yeah, this is sort of unusual because not many, quite a few of you have been in the annual workshops and the Sydney workshops too. But I did have a few comments from people who's been in the USA workshop just a few weeks ago, and I just taped them. And if you like to hear them, I'll play that video for you. But meanwhile, would anybody like to comment on anything? I miss.
I believe Deborah wanted to make a comment, Dr. Lam. Deborah?
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
Hi, everybody. I just wanted to say, first, I'm glad to be here. And greetings from Bakersfield, California. I really enjoyed the June workshop, and I have been attending since my first one was 2011. And I had missed 2 or 3 of them just due to some personal things. And a lot of you know I'm a pretty private person, but I'll share this, which I didn't share earlier today. Coming to the workshop, it's not just coming to the workshop. So even though, okay, yeah, we have MTST training and pre-conference and 1 week, and I love all of it, and that's one of my favorite venues, the Oregon venue. For me personally, and what I discovered in just kind of being able to listen to others, all of us had some interesting stories in what brought us there and the challenging journey to get there and to stay. A lot of us had a lot of personal, family and other situations. And mine personally was, I'll just share a few. There were multiples, but a few was I was just coming off of detached retina procedure, and I'm still kind of dealing with that. But also my mother, who's 98, fell and broke her hip the day that I was traveling there. And she lives with a younger sister who's 94. So a lot of my time during the conference was being concerned about that, of course, and managing some of those things from a distance, from out of the state and out of the area. So what I was grateful for was all the really wonderful flexibility, no pun intended, and support of anyone and everyone that just kind of took a moment to say hi or to do nice things, carry some of my things, as well as just make themselves available for questions that I had about things that I missed during the conference. But I'm saying this to say that even going all of those years, the Tai Chi was icing on the cake. But it was really the people there and the way we interacted that was so meaningful for me this time. And it's always meaningful, but it was a different kind of meaning. And not something that I take for granted at all. So I'm just really, really grateful. And I'm looking forward to someday coming to Sydney for the workshops. I've been there a very long time ago. And at one time there is what actually got me started in coming in the first place. And some of you know that story, and I won't go into that right now. But just thank you. This was really, really fantastic. And thank you for listening. We had a great time. Plus, Dr. Lam can share about the flash mob. That was kind of impromptu, but was a lot of fun.
Yes, right. I didn't start it.
Yeah, he
Thanks.
kind of tagged along at the end. We pointed to him. Look at his shirt.
Oh,
Go to
yes,
YouTube.
right. I had to join
But it was
in.
fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was a market
Thanks for
next to
listening.
the university, so we went to the market, and yeah. Well, you know what I trying to do is to get the interesting things and good things to share the spirit, the energy, the knowledge the Tai Chi, and I do try to share it in each newsletter. So read my newsletter and let me know what you like. Kind of things make you enjoy more. It's been many years since we've been doing that newsletter. Yeah, I enjoy doing it, but it is a time-consuming job, and it's like as though I'm talking to people. But I love to hear your view about what you want to hear and what was stimulating. And the workshop is a great place. You know, Tai Chi for Health program really come from the original Sydney workshop 26 years ago. Tai Chi for Health was of 25 years. So, and lots of things come from there. Um, Studies and the USA workshop come from Sydney because there's so many people from USA wanted us to be there. So it's been, wow, this is the 22nd in USA and 26 in Sydney. So we're reaching 50 soon of all place. And yeah, so, you know, I just want to share that feeling if it didn't work for you to come. And of course, I hope you can come too. Um, okay, were there anyone like to comment, or do you want to hear some comments from the participants of that workshop?
Veronica.
Uh,
I think Veronica
go
wants to
ahead.
speak.
Yeah, go ahead, Veronica. Unmute yourself.
Just something recently that happened to me. In my little town where I live, the doctors there do send people to me. And then just recently I went to a new specialist in another town not far away. And while I was there, I was talking to one of the nurses and I said to her about Tai Chi. And lo and behold, the next week she turned up for the class. And then she came again and she brought a friend. And then I went back to the specialist as a follow-up and he has asked me to go to his town and start a Tai Chi group there. He said, I'll have 20 or 30 people for you. So I'm not a physiotherapist or anything like that, but I love teach Tai Chi and I know it works and I believe in everything that you teach. And I think it shines through. A lot of the people that are with me have been with me for 12 years now, and they come twice a week now as well. You know, so, but I think the doctors call me Dr. Dobie.
Yes, Monica,
Just my
you
little
are inspiration.
Thank you, Veronica. I think Helga wants to say something.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a comment about the video. I was really, really, really excited to see Pushing Hands and the way it was explained in the morning that, you know, we often see Pushing Hands as somebody is winning, somebody is losing, and it being incorporated with the dance, it is more of listening to your partner and really getting, you know, in tune with your partner. And I'm really excited about that. And I'm really, really hoping that this will turn into a program that we can all learn. So, or, you know, those of us who are interested, I certainly put my hand up for that one. Thank you.
I've been talking to Jerry about that, Helga, about turning into a program. The thing is, the movements. If people just want to do the movements, then it's much easier for them to do the Tai Chi for Health programs, which have the movements carefully work out, teaching method. And then the key of that dancing thing was you actually have to touch and work with people, pushing hands as you describe it.
Yeah.
And then to have someone like Jerry In case you guys haven't heard of Jerry, he's an incredible dancer, incredible choreographer. And he also spent many years doing Tai Chi with me and other people. So he kind of have that together. Um, so for people to really get it and safely to play that dancing Tai Chi, which is a lot of fun when they demonstrate. I was in that class. You really need Jerry. And so Jerry's coming to Sydney in January, and he's going to have a dancing Tai Chi class there. And I'm talking to him about having an extra introduction or playing dancing Tai Chi with people who cannot do his course, like you got to do other course or something. So and a lot of our instructor want to try that. So Jerry going to create a short tasting for that. And actually, if you like to hear the comments from Bob, he kind of expressed it really well. He's a participant about what pushing hands. I've done pushing hands before, and in my workshop, I have permitted a couple of really good pushing hand people in my workshop. Eventually, it won out because lack of interest, but also somewhere there, I don't really like people pushing each other. I don't like pushing each other either, even though you're supposed to be saying hands. And the really good ones are more absorbing. So Jerry's philosophy is different. He's like a dancer. You're actually taking care of each other. You're working with each other. It's like yin yang harmony. So I think that is what convinced me to let him run a class in my workshop, and it worked out really, really well because he really understands this, and he make it really fun too. So he's been usually he's in USA workshop and he comes to Sydney workshop and he comes to other workshops, and maybe we'll have some really exciting workshops in Europe and Jerry will come. He loves traveling. He loves coming to London, and me too. Okay, so would you like to see here the video I did for the morning? Should I? Okay, let me share my screen. I hope I can make it work this time. I'm going to stop this. There's a few more minutes, but we're running out of time. But since you registered, you will get a recordings and you will have all that as well. So if you're interested to look at, and Jerry's coming to Sydney to teach dancing Tai Chi. So here's a, you can join us. Yes, yes. So we have a few minutes to go. Um, I love to hear your comments. What do you like to hear next month? How do you like this feeling of the workshop? It's so nice, you know. Even if you can't come. I hope you get that, enjoy that energy of sharing with other people who love Tai Chi as much as we do.
Philip, do you want to say anything, Philip? Philip, do you want to say
Yes.
anything?
Go
ahead.
morning, everybody. Yeah, it's nice to hear it that it was such a success in America, and I hope I will join you in next year. But it's always difficult to travel to Australia or to America, but I'm working on it. Yes.
Thank you, Philip. Yvonne? Yvonne, do you want to say something?
So my micro is on. Yes, I would firstly say thank you to all of you. The lot of work you do for us. And my first workshop was in 2011 in USA, Terriot. And there I met you, Nuala. No, in Switzerland firstly, but then in Terriot again. And Ernie also. So a long friend of mine, not so near, because there are so many years between. Now it's 2024, but never forget you all, because this Tai Chi family, it's really, really touching for me. I'm sitting in Zurich, Switzerland, sometimes a little bit alone, because we have not so a lot of Tai Chi for health people doing it. So, also my class is yes, but dear Dr. Paul, that's a little bit a problem in Europe at the moment. But yeah, this Terriot workshop, there started for me, not started, but going on the way of Tai Chi. Coming from karate, long years did that, and then finding this Tai Chi for health, this integrating health aspects and security and all these adaptations, possibility in the forms. That's so touching me that I found it and I stay here by doing this. And I met Philip from Belgium. I met so a lot of people now. I was in Belgium, I was in Holland. I'm not churning, I don't like it. Traveling, I have to say. But yeah, sometimes I do it, but it's a great challenge for me to traveling, and Sydney is far away. 24 hours in such a flight.
Yeah, it's
horrible. But as Dr. Lam, I do the step and need a lot of courage, and I like a lot of you friends to help by doing this. But I have the courage now. I think it's coming good. And meeting all the people, and also Nuala, thank you so lot. We don't see a lot, but by COVID, I learned doing this computer stuff. COVID helped me. I learned the Zoom. I learned online learning Tai Chi from the lessons. Dear Dr. Lam, you give us and your team. Also, just grateful. Cannot say anything else. So, dear Nuala, it's so nice to see you. And yeah, I'm going on and hope it's going on. So thank you.
Thank you, Yvonne. Great to see you again. That was a great workshop at Terre Haute.
Oh, yes.
Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for sharing, Yvonne. You also came in 2013 to do London.
Yes, in Connecticut.
Yes.
Yeah.
And some of your friends as well from Europe and Switzerland and so on. But good to see you. Thank you for sharing. And thank everyone with this zone too for allowing me to come and share with you. I enjoy meeting people from all the different countries. It's wonderful. It's definitely a big Tai Chi family.
Exactly. I'd like to thank everyone for coming along as well. I know it's difficult sometimes to be able to get, but we can, it's nice to talk to everyone and see everyone. Thank you, Veronica, for your information, and also to Deborah. Nice to see you, Deborah. It's a long time since I've seen you. It's great. Thank you all for coming. I know it's an effort sometimes, but it's worth it. And don't forget, you'll get the recording, so you'll be able to look back on all this and keep the recording and just enjoy it while you're having a cup of tea. Thank you, Philip, as well, for coming along. Nice to see you. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Myra, want to say
Thank
something
you.
before we say goodbye? I think we should take a picture before we say goodbye. But Myra, go ahead.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, I just wanted to remind everyone, Philip and Yvonne both spoke, but we actually had a workshop in Europe too, in the Netherlands.
Mhm.
You were along, and that's when I got to meet Yvonne and Philip and others that are here today too. I've said hello to most of them. And that was my first time ever. And I hope that someday I'll get to make it to other workshops. Thank you,
Good.
everyone.
Good. Thank you. Thank you, Myra. Thank you. Nice to
Yes.
see you. Nice to see
Right.
everybody.
Okay, let's take a picture before we go. Do an open close.
I forgot to count 1, 2, 3, but we've taken the picture. So
It's okay. Thank you, everyone. Have a lovely day. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
So nice to
great
see you.
everyone.